Electric Love, that first riff, starting on the 7th fret, and you're sliding from, with the 3rd finger, to the 9th fret on the A string. And then your 1st finger back to the 7 on that A string. With the 3 finger back to the 9 on the E string now. And then you're going back to the A string on the 7. And then the 3 comes back to the 9 on the E. And then your 1st finger to the 7 on the E. Then you're moving your 1st finger down to the 5th fret of the E string for 2 of those. So that whole thing sounds like this. So this song has a swing to it, which means that the 1st note is short and the 2nd note is long. And you want to have a triplet feel in your head. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, triplet, triplet, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So the first 2 triplets go together, and then the third triplet, is by itself. So this is like your 1st 8th note, and this is your 2nd 8th note. So like da, 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 da. So when you have that triplet riff at the beginning, it combines well with the swinging of the 8th notes that happen through the rest of the song. So that means so this leads us into what they're calling the pre-verse. Which is kind of like an intro. So you're starting on the 5th fret of the big E string, and you have a bunch of 8th notes. So and then 2 7s with the 3rd finger. Then you're sliding down to, well, not sliding, but then you're moving down to the 2nd fret on the same string. Then you have to immediately and super fast, super quickly jump up to the 9th fret on the A string, and you're sliding into it like a grace note, 1-note slide. And then you have 7 on the A string, 9 on the E, 7 on the A, 9 on the E, 7 on the E. And this is just like that first intro riff. So when you're ending that that middle section of the verse, or the pre-verse that is, and you have that 2 fret thing happening on the E string. So if we put all of that stuff together, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that's about halfway through, and then you have some more of this thing. And then your next riff is on the 11th fret of the G string, and you're sliding into that. So I'm sliding into it from the 9th fret back to the, so that's with your 3 finger. and you're sliding, and then you're moving back to the first finger on the 9th fret of the G string, 11th on the D, 9th fret on the G again, back to 11 on the D, 9 on the D, and then back to home. So that little riff sounds like. So you add that to the 5s. All of the riffs in the verse, even if they're in different spots, have the same pattern of that slide and then 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. So this riff looks the same as this riff. The very first one is different because you have a 2-note slide as opposed to a 1-note slide, like the rest of them. The metronome is going to click off triplets, so that means every click is 1/3 of a beat. So a triplet is is a quarter note divided into 3. So that sounds like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's where we're starting here with this play along. So I have the metronome set at 130 beats per minute. So that is actually, let's see, 120 divided by 3 is 40. So like 43 beats per minute. 43 1/3 beats per minute. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Two, three, 1, 2. Two, three, 1, 2. Two, three, 1, 2. The second part of the verse, you start with your first finger on the 5th fret of the A string. You have 2 of those. 3rd fret goes to the 7 on the D, back to the 5 on the A for 2 of those, and then 7 on the D, and then 2 open A strings. It repeats that. So then you have 7 on the D string with the 3rd finger, and 6 and 7 on the D and A string. So 6 with the index finger and 7 with the middle finger. Then you're going to move your first finger to the 5th fret of the A string, and then your second finger goes to the 6th fret of the D string, and your 3rd finger goes to the 7th fret of the A string. So those 2 little things together. Then you have another 6 and 7 together, and 2 5s. So 2 and 3 on 6 and 7, 2nd finger and 3rd finger on the 6th and 7th frets, and 1st finger down to the 5th fret on the A string. Then 7 on the D, 2 5s on the A, 7 on the D, 2 open A's, 5 on the A, followed by 3 6 7s with the 2 finger and 3 finger on the D string and A string. That whole little part sounds like this. Now we're on to the pre-chorus. So I would think of this in groups of 6s. You're going from the 5th fret on the E string to the 4th fret on the A string for the first 2 sets of 6s. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. And then you're moving over to the 5th and 4th frets on the A and D strings for one set of 6, and then moving up to 7 and 6 on the A and D strings with the 2nd and 1st fingers. All together. And all that repeats. Then you're going to move to the 9th fret on the A and the 7th fret on the D string for 6, and then you have, actually it's 9, and then you're moving to 9 and 7 on the E and A strings. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then back to 5 and 4 on the A and D strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the E and A strings for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you end it with the 7 on the A string and the 6 on the D string for 2 sets of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. By end it, I mean you end playing that thing. So the last thing you do before the pre-chorus is this extended triplet riff like you've been playing before, where you're going 5, 7, 4, 7, 4, 7, 4, 7, 4, 7, 4, 7, and then you're back to that thing that you have been playing in the verse. So the fingerings are second finger, fourth finger, first finger, fourth finger, first, fourth, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2. Alright, so if we put all of the pre-chorus together, we have this. The stuff that happens in the pre-verse is the same stuff that happens in the verse. So I am skipping that as far as a play along because you already have it. So you play the stuff that's in the pre-verse, then you play that again when you get to the verse, and then you're going to add this new little chunk to the end of the verse, and then the pre-chorus happens, and then the chorus happens. And so this is going to go at the end of what you used in the pre-verse on the verse. So intro, no playing, pre-verse, playing, verse, playing, end of the verse, playing, pre-chorus, and then playing, and then the chorus. Here is the end of the verse and a little bit into the pre-chorus, so you can hear that transition. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. 'Here is the pre-chorus and a little bit of the chorus. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. Now we're on the interlude, and that first chord is an A major chord. So your first finger goes on the 2nd fret of the D string, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. Now you can also bar this. So you can just take your first finger and put it on top of those 3 strings on the 2nd fret like that. And from the top you can see that it looks like that, and I am actually muting the high E string, this string right here. So that makes switching from this chord to this chord a little bit easier. But another way to do that is to play the A chord like this, where your 2 finger is on the D, your 1 finger is on the G, and your 3 finger is on the B, so that when you switch to that chord, you're doing that. So this finger is already here. First chord this way, 2 here, 1 here, 3 here, or bar it. And then the second chord, you can have 1 on the 2nd fret of the G, 2 on the 2nd fret of the B, 3 on the 2nd fret of the D, and then you return to that A chord, and then you move to a D chord, and that looks like this, where the 1 finger is on the 2nd fret of the G string, the 2 finger is on the 2nd fret of the little E string, and the 3 finger is on the 3rd fret of the B string, and you're strumming those 3 chords. Those 3 strings. Now the order of things is the A chord 4 times, and this is all in triplet feel, and you want them to ring out like this. Then you move into that 2nd chord, which that 2nd chord is a B minor 7, and then you're moving to the 3rd chord is back to the A. The D chord. And then you repeat all that. The strumming pattern looks like is this. So I'm going B, G, D, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And the same thing for the B minor 7, down, up, down. And when you get to the D, you're also doing that, but you're changing strings to the E, B, G, E, B, G. For the next part, you have the same chords with the left hand, but your strumming pattern with the right hand changes. So now you have some muting happening, which means the left hand is going to stay on top of the strings, but not push them down. See what that sounds like? If you look at it from this angle, push down is like that, just resting on top. So I get that muted sound. So for the next part, at the A chord, you have the following. So with the muted strings, you have down, down, and then you have an up, and then you stop it, and then you have down, down, and then up, down, up. Then you repeat that for the new chord. Down, down, and then you come back to the A, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Then you're on to the D, and the strings that I'm strumming for the A, before I get to that, the strings that I'm strumming for the A are D, G, and B for the B7. Also D, G, and B when I get to the D, G, B, E. So now we're on the D chord, and you have the same pattern again. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Put some of that together and you have this. You have a measure of A, a measure of B7, back to a measure of A, and then a measure of D, back to a measure of A, B7, or I'm sorry, B minor 7, back to a measure of A, back to a measure of D, and then an A, B minor 7, and then an A. And then for the last thing, you're changing chords all together, and you have a D power chord. So for the last measure, you have this D power chord, where your first finger is on the 5th fret of the A string, and your third finger is on the 7th fret of the D string, and your pinky finger is on the 7th fret of the G string. You strum that down, up, down, down, and then you move up to 9, 7, and 7, and you have down, up, down. The way you want to count this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.